The VBS Mutual Bank fraud and corruption saga has now been postponed to next year. While no date has been put down for the actual start of the trial, the case has been postponed to the 9th of February to allow the state to get its house in order. Former bank executives and several politicians face charges of defrauding the now defunct bank of more than 2 billion rand. And you'll remember scores of customers lost their life savings with only a third of the money recovered so far. Newzroom Afrika's Ntokozo Khumalo joins us live with an update on that story, Ntokozo. And there were several issues unfolding in court today, but perhaps chief among them, this application to separate some of the cases, because we know that this is effectively a mass case that's being brought against a number of individuals.
Absolutely. Good morning, Michelle. Certainly, more of the accused today, the legal representations saying that they want to join Andy and Kabelo, who have actually were granted that separate trial back in August by Judge Mabuse. Their argument is that this case is just dragging on far too long, putting the blame largely on the state for not having its house in order. As we know, they did put in that application to dismiss the judge's order to actually separate the trial of ANC youth leader Kabelo Matsepe, as well as ANC treasurer in Limpopo, Danny Msiza, who were in court this morning. So when that date was put forward by the state of postponing the case to the 9th of February, most of the legal representatives then here saying they would have to then need to put in those appeals and those requests to also separate the trials of their clients, Michelle. As you know, it has been ongoing for quite some time, and the two issues that really are outstanding is for the state to hear back from the Supreme Court of Appeal. But of course, Advocate Sean Abraham's pushing back on that issue, saying that the state missed the deadline that they were meant to submit those documents, putting in that appeal. So as they understand it, the separate trial for Danny and Kabelo standing before the judge, and him saying then that the court must separate and must continue to then stand on that judgment that was made on the 8th of August. And as you rightfully said, that 9th of February is really just a continuation of what we were supposed to see happen today and that trial date set. So the states did suggest a date sometime in May, but of course did get that pushback on just too much time, going on for this case to actually, or the trial to actually kick off. A lot of the accused coming in from Limpopo, and the legal teams, they're arguing that it's not fair for them to continuously travel here to just hear a postponement. But the judge did give details on then the bail conditions as then the case is postponed until the 9th of February. Let's take a listen.
In that case, I order that this matter be postponed to the 9th of February 2026. I've listened to you, Mr. Abrams. I don't think that I should simply decide on hearing the matter simply because Mr. Khumalo has missed a step. But there's still an opportunity that he can remedy the situation. Thank you very much. And all those who are on bail, and I guess all of you are on bail, your bail is extended on the same conditions as before until the 9th of February 2026. Please, in the meantime, bear in mind that I'm not getting any older, any younger. I'm not getting any older.
Ntokozo, the judge there joking that he's not getting any younger. Neither are the people who were defrauded, the pensioners who invested their life savings in VBS Mutual Bank. It happened in 2018 when the bank was declared insolvent and bankrupt. Here we are, 7 years later? And the state can ill afford another case that it takes to court, drags on, and has an adverse outcome in.
Absolutely, Michelle. And, you know, if you do recall, I did go out to Vembe district, which is one of the municipalities that had a huge exposure with VBS Mutual Bank, with depositors having invested 1.02 billion rand into the mutual bank. And really, a lot of the depositors had already passed on by the time we went to that community. So as Judge Mawusa says that he's not getting any younger, neither are the depositors who are waiting, you know, to get a little bit of a cut of the monies that they lost. As we heard from the Reserve Bank back in July, early July, from the Prudential Authority, that they've managed to raise or to recoup about 730 million rand of that more than 2 billion rand that was looted. So that's just a third of the funds that were lost. So a lot of people feeling that that justice is coming rather slowly, Michelle. And remember that there is a parallel court case that is ongoing in Polokwane as well, that drills more closely into the parties that are involved on that municipal level when it comes to this graft that was seen at VBS. So a few arrests that have, you know, been made over the years. But as you rightfully said, we are now going into year 8 of waiting for a trial date to actually be put down, and we see this issue go to trial and people actually be held accountable as the Prudential Authority continues to try and recoup those funds that were lost, Michelle.
Indeed. Ntokozo Khumalo live to us there in Pretoria with that update.